Oh, hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. In this episode of Cycling Insider, let's talk about Scott Foil 20 Aero road bike. As you probably know, Scott Bikes is a Swiss bike brand. They have a huge heritage in making road and mountain bikes, and truly, their bikes have won so many races, especially if you follow, for example, cross-country mountain bike Nino Schurter, and also if you follow the Grand Tours, World Tour level racing of the road bike, you can always see Scott Bikes all around. Scott Bikes is also famous for many innovations when it comes to the road bikes, and definitely this Scott Foil is an absolute legend when it comes to aero road bike. This is definitely one of the bikes that started it all about the aero road bikes. So first thing first, who is this bike for? So if you are interested in going as fast as possible in a straight line and you want to transfer every watt of your power into the forward motion, then definitely this Scott Foil aero road bike is the way to go. So when you compare it to the TT bikes, of course this is more applicable to everyday life, this Scott Foil bike, because the geometry is much more relaxed than a TT bike, and it's just more adaptable to any kind of road conditions or climbing some mountains. So this Scott Foil bike, as you see, has all the shapes of the carbon fiber frame and fork optimized for aerodynamics, and as I say, it was definitely one of the first bikes who introduced this new category of aero road bikes. So let's dive in and let's see what do you get for your hard-earned money. So current asking price for a Scott Foil 20 bike is 3,200 British pounds, or approximately that would be something like 3,400, 3,500 US dollars with the current exchange rate. So definitely make no mistake, this is not a cheap bike, and since Scott has a lot of brick and mortar shops around the world and a lot of dealers, I strongly recommend you to go to your local Scott bike dealer and to negotiate this bike price. And in my opinion, targeted price should be something about 2,700 British pounds. Maybe if you are even a good negotiator, nice negotiator, you might even drop it down to about 2,600 British pounds. And I'm sorry. And then it truly becomes an amazing offering from Scott. But if you aim for about 2,700 British pounds, I think that would be a very interesting offering from Scott. So let's dive in and let's see what kind of components do you get for 3,200 British pounds. First thing first, I forgot to mention that the paint scheme on this bike, you basically only have one choice for paint scheme, and this is this black with a hint of a bit of silver, I would say, which looks pretty decent. I'm not a big fan of kind of black on black. I wish Scott offered at least another paint scheme on this bike, just because it's an expensive bike, and I truly believe there should be at least two paint schemes on this bike. So when we go into the components of this bike, let's start with the frame and fork. So this is the Scott Foil carbon fiber frame, HMF level of the frame, and also the fork is the foil carbon fiber fork, HMF level of the carbon fiber. So Scott has one more level above this HMF level. So this is not top of the line that they can do, but make no mistake, Scott's carbon fiber frames are truly top notch, and they really know how to make good quality carbon fiber frames. And that brings us to another thing, that warranty on Scott's frames is 5 years warranty on carbon fiber frames, and then you have 2 years warranty on the carbon fiber fork. So please keep that in mind. I truly wish that Scott has included a lifetime warranty on both of their frames and forks, but unfortunately it is what it is. So both frame and fork are of course ready for the internal cable routing and also 12mm through axles, both front and back, and as I said, this carbon fiber frame and fork is all optimized for the aerodynamics, aero performance, going as fast as possible in any conditions on the road. When it comes to the shifting performance, so rear mech is the Shimano's Ultegra R8000, front mech also Shimano's Ultegra R8000, and the shifters are also Shimano's Ultegra in this case R8020. This is Shimano's mechanical group set, mechanical Ultegra group set, and in my opinion, considering value for money, currently this Ultegra mechanical group set is an absolute peak. When it comes to the crankset, you're gonna get Shimano's Ultegra crankset, 5236 chain rings, and quickly this is paired with the Shimano's Ultegra cassette, 1130 cassette, so you definitely have a nice bailout gear 1130 on the cassette, so you can attack some steep mountains. Also, they didn't cut corners on the chain because you're gonna get Shimano's HG701 chain. This is Shimano's Ultegra level chain. And the bottom bracket set is the Shimano's press fit bottom bracket, BB71. Again, Scott produces quality carbon fiber frames, so you shouldn't have any creaking noises from the bottom bracket. When it comes to the braking performance, you're gonna get Shimano's Ultegra hydraulic disc brakes, 160mm rotors both front and back, and also Shimano's RT800 central lock rotors, so absolutely no cutting corners here. I love that they included, first of all, 160mm rotors and also the RT800 rotor. So great heat dissipation, great stopping power, great modulation, absolutely top-notch braking system. Some small pieces like the handlebar, stem, seat post, everything is handled by the Syncros brand. Syncros, like an in-house brand from Scott Bikes. Now here I'm not sure about the seat post. Is it a carbon fiber seat post? I truly hope it is a carbon fiber seat post, because I believe they should include it just to soak up a bit more of the road bumps. And seat, again, Syncros on production. I have never used Syncros seats, so have no experience. If anybody has any experience with Syncros seats, please do leave a comment in the comments below. But as usual, when you find your preferred seat, please do keep it as long as possible, so this one would be easy to replace if you don't like it. When it comes to the wheel set, this is again the Syncros RR20 disc wheel set, and I quickly checked on the Syncros offering. The closest kind of thing I could find is this RP wheel set 20. This is a classical aluminium wheel set. They don't say much about the weight of the wheel set as a pair, and I was also trying to find out what kind of hubs are here. Is it maybe some kind of DT Swiss design hubs? But unfortunately not much information here. So 12mm through axles both front and back on this wheel set, and for example this would be one area where in the future you might want to upgrade to something better once when you destroy this wheel set. These wheels are wrapped in Schwalbe 1 race tires, 28C tires. I'm so glad they included 28C tire. Brilliant move from Scott. Much more air volume, much more subtler ride, softer ride. And Schwalbe, again, a famous German bike brand, the components brand producing tires, so you can't go wrong with Schwalbe. Of course, in the future, if you prefer, you can stick with Schwalbe, or you can also move to Continental tires. And the total weight for this bike is 8.3 kilograms, which is a decent bike weight for these aero road bikes. Nothing special in this department. Competition does it very similarly, around 8 to 8.5 kilograms, so again nothing special, but it's easy to drop the weight on this kind of bikes if you are truly interested in these kind of things. But the weight on these bikes is not the main focus, is the aerodynamics and as going as fast as possible in a straight line. So let's make a little summary of this bike. So this is the Scott Foil 20 aero road bike. So everything is optimized for the aerodynamics on this bike. So carbon fiber frame and fork on the HMF level of carbon fiber, with a 5-year warranty on the frame and 2-year warranty on the fork. You're gonna get shifting performance from Shimano Ultegra, so front mech, rear mech shifters, top-notch mechanical group set. You're also gonna get Shimano's Ultegra crankset, Shimano's Ultegra cassette and the chain, and the braking performance is done by Shimano's Ultegra hydraulic disc brakes with 160mm rotors both front and back, and also RT800 braking rotors. The things that I would like to check with your, for example, local Scott bike dealer if you are interested in this bike is, does it include carbon fiber seat post? And also, when it comes to the wheel set, since this is classical aluminium wheel set, I would just check the hubs. Is it some kind of synchros on production of the hubs? And if that's the case, then in the future this would probably be the first area to upgrade. That would be the wheel set, and then of course you can move to some other components if you want. So in a summary, interesting offering from Scott in the range of aero road bikes. I mean, absolute legend Scott foil. Asking price 3,200 British pounds, or approximately $3,500 US, and I would here target approximately 2,700 British pounds as a targeted price. And then I think you could truly get an amazing value for your money. So I think this is going to be it for today. If you like what I'm doing, please do subscribe and hit that little bell icon so you're always notified when I make a new video. And as always, I will see you in the next episode. Pura Vida!